Ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it with another video. This is an eCTD training little mini video for Ghana. Now, if you look back, we started with Zimbabwe, we did Nigeria, we had South Africa, and up next is Ghana. Okay. If you're in Ghana, shout out below in the comments, say hi. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what date it is. And welcome to Farmers Academy. So I am here to discuss today the Ghanaian Module 1 of the eCTD structured compilations for regulatory affairs. If you're a pharmacist, if you're a regulatory affairs officer, if you deal with medicine registrations, if you're into manufacturing industry, if you want to know more about how the Module 1 is set up for Ghana, then this video is for you. Remember, we do have a full short course detailing how the entire Module 1 to 5 is supposed to be structured. This is a short course called RASC. You will find it on our website, or if you email us, you can get the brochure, application form, and get started straight away. We have recorded versions, so it's on demand. You can watch in your own time, learn in your own time, and finish within 6 months. Or you can find our live training scheduled quarterly, also available for you. If you have a team and you'd like specialized training on specific topics, remember that you can always request in our 110, our customized training request, any specific customized topics there. So I'm going to share my FDA Ghana outline because we always work with guidelines, right? Every country that adheres to the eCTD structure has a national guideline, which they will use for Module 1. In this case, it is the Ghanaian guideline, the FDA Ghana guideline. All right, I need to just share my content here. It says window, but I hope you guys can still see me. Okay, I think we're good. If you see here, I have a guideline. This is from the Food and Drug Authority of Ghana. And this is going to be pertaining to registration of allopathic drugs for human and veterinary medicines. Okay, let's get right into it. Let me make my screen bigger. It doesn't want to. Okay. Let's just scroll down then. This document was officially published on the 1st of July 2013. Well, it was adopted and then it was issued on the 1st of August. There's an acknowledgement there to the FDA and the WHO. And then we start with the table of contents. Guys, it is so interesting to see how wildly different every country has its own Module 1. Now, when we look at the Ghanaian Module 1 here, you can see that they start off with the administrative information and prescribing information. They start off with a cover letter. And as with any other country, the cover letter is meant to stipulate what you are applying to, what you are applying for. So you're going to have to say the drug name, the company who's applying, the registration, the pathway intended, the type of medicine, API, concentration, all of the things, and any special note to the regulatory authority, you would also include in here. Then it goes to the table of content of the application, including module 1, and then they put in brackets module 1 to 5. So you're going to have to outline the entire table of content of your entire registration product, but specifically that pertaining to module 1 here. They want an application information, okay, 1.2. This is where you again give detail of what you're applying for. Is it an NCE? Is it a generic? Is it a allopathic? Is it a I don't presume you would mix biologicals or any other medicine registration type, but you would have to depict here what your application information is about. And then in 121, that's where you detail each node. So the granularity of it increases. You have, so no document at 1.2, the documents come in 1.21. The trade name and proprietary name. So that is the name you are giving your product as a company, and the proprietary name that is international. You would say, for example, if it's allopurinol, you can't name your own product allopurinol because it's already allopurinol everywhere. That's the API. But you would give it allopurin or Pharmers allopurin, so that's your own trade name. Then in 1.22, you would give the approved or INN, the generic name. So there you would name the molecule. Okay, so if it's allopurinol, sorry, that comes here rather. If it's 2N-acetylcysteine, you would put that here. So this is the name which is standardized throughout the world, throughout the pharmacopoeias, and not specific to your company. Then in 123, your dosage form is where you specify how your product is presented. Is it an oral solid dosage form, oral soluble? Is it a capsule, a tablet? Is it a liquid, a cream, an ointment, OLC or OCL? Is it an IV, an intravenous preparation? Is it sterile? Is it non-sterile? Is it intramuscular? Is it subcutaneous? Is it an injectable? Is it a cream, topical? Is it a nasal spray, nasal or still topical, eye drops? Like, they want to know what kind of product dosage form you have. And the strength in 124, is it 100 milligram, 500 milligram? Is it 5 milligram per 5 mil? Is it in a liquid format? Is it reconstitution? Is it weight per weight, volume per volume, etc., etc.? This you have to specify here. And then in 125, the commercial presentation. So this is where you show the picture of it, front and back, the bottle, the box, the blister pack. You need to visually identify this product. What is it going to look like? What does it currently look like? You can also throw in the labels, the artwork, the I guess the PIMPL comes a bit later, but here it's for the visual representation, commercial presentation rather. And then in 126, you have the nature and content of container. So here they want you to specify what is in the container. When you hold this product, when you purchase it, what's inside that container? The active ingredients, the inactive ingredients, the excipients, the flavors, the solvents, etc., etc. The description of the drug comes next in 127. Here again, you want to describe what this medicine is. state its pharmacological class, state its usage, posology, maybe its intended use. Describe what it is. Is it a white, clear powder? Is it a yellow, flowy cream or liquid? Is it a thick, dense syrup? You got to describe the whole drug here and what it's meant to do. Is it a antibiotic classification? Is it a cephalosporin? Is it a penicillin? Is it a aminoglycoside? Whatever the case might be, and its function, right? So it works by doing ABC, its mechanism of action. The country of origin. So where does this product come from? Obviously, it's going to be a generic, well, not obviously, they may manufacture locally other products, but in this case, you will have to state where it comes from. If it was if it originates from China or India or from the US, you got to state that, possibly have its original certificate of registration, and all of its original GMP documentation and manufacturer's stamp. If you are, for example, if it's a pre-qualified product, then you would also have those certificates handy. Then in node 1 to 9, the category of distribution. Here they want you to state if it's going to go in the public sector, private sector, if it's for tenders, if it's for private use, if it's, individual distribution companies, etc., etc. In 1 to 10, the pharmacological classification and indication. So what is this product? Is it a muscle relaxant? Is it an anti-inflammatory? Is it non-steroidal? Is it steroidal? Is it topical? Is it systemic? Is it CNS? State how it works, how it's classified and how it works. And then in 1 to 11, you're going to want to state your proposed shelf life for this product, obviously based on the original manufacturer. But if you do your own testing, your own stability testing, you may want to change something, especially when you repackage or maybe break the original seal and decant. You want to state your own proposed shelf life with evidence of stability testing. If you don't have the full stability testing results or the full 24 months or more or less, you may need to submit what you have and then add a commitment. In 1 to 12, you as the applicant needs to describe yourself, present yourself, your company registration, your organogram, who's the responsible person, who are the owners, the directors, who's senior management, who's in charge of this product. Probably throw in some CVs, some, to depict the experience, throw in some job descriptions to see who's the responsible person and what their career has been looking like. In 1 to 13, you want to name and complete the address of the manufacturers. So this is self-explanatory. Who's the FPP, the finished pharmaceutical product manufacturer? Where are they based? And you want to be super detailed as to all of the relevant sites. The manufacturing site may be different from the packaging site or labeling site, which may be different from the distribution site. So make sure to specify all of those at once. In 1 to 14, you want to look at the manufacturing and registration of international registration statuses. Again, if it's a generic, it would have come from somewhere outside the country. So here you have to specify who is manufacturing this and where, and specify their status. So if they are an FPP manufacturer, a repackager, a relabeler, a distributor, a finished product responsibility, or a release responsibility, or a control responsibility, you can state that as well. In 1 to 15, you want the actual copies of the certificates of suitabilities, especially when there are any annexes, right? Because remember, this is the certificate that states that the parent company for the API has given you or the finished product manufacturer authorization to use their API. So when it's a European monograph, they issue the CEP, and it's going to contain the company who's manufacturing the API. It's going to contain your company's name as the applicant or the manufacturer who's been authorized to use it. It's going to have dates. Remember, these certificates have validity periods. It's going to also state some stability statements, the shelf life, the retesting period, and a lot of valuable information. So that's why the annexures or the annexes are very important. The CEP number, the revision or version number, will tell you if it's an outdated CEP, if they need to submit an updated one, or if it's still within its validity. Then in 1 to 16, we have the authorized local representative. This is, of course, when it's a generic from a parent company, which has a local agent. So who's the localized representative? Who's the person or the company in charge of representing this product in Ghana for things like vigilance, pharmacovigilance, surveillance, for things like marketing authorization, etc. And then you're going to have a signed declaration in 1 to 17. This is obviously to declare that all the information submitted is true, is accurate, is the latest and the most recent, and that everything stated is in fact, correct and signed by the authorized person to make it legitimate. Then in 1.3, we have the prescribing information. This is very similar to other module ones around different countries. 1.3 tends to be where the PI, the PIL, the labels, the artwork go. So in Ghana as well, they have the prescribing information here. Any specific prescribing information that may be different from abroad. So if your country has a specific disease burden, a specific national epidemic or situation, healthcare crisis of any form, or even just different strains, different disease types or burdens, then the way medicines are used in different countries may differ to how they're used there. So if the product originates from the US, but it's used differently in Ghana, then here will come this specific information. Then you put that under the product information for healthcare professionals. So that's for all products subject to medical prescriptions. Because it's the prescribers who are going to be prescribing it, shouldn't be accessible to the general public just by ways of walk-in to OTC. Although we know some pharmacies will give access to patients without prescriptions. Sometimes you even find medicines in open markets, so distribution channels often erupt into non-ethical chains, but I digress. So that information goes there. In 1.3.2, the patient information leaflet, there comes your PIL. So you will need to learn how to compile a PIL. Okay. And that is provided in our course if you're interested. But your 1.33 is your labeling. So the outer and inner labels. Same with the PIPIL and label. They're usually the triple uh, or the product compilation trinity, so to speak. And finally, samples in 1.4. So they want you to submit samples. This may be to mention that the samples are available on request. I know since COVID, a lot of authorities have reverted back to not taking in actual samples to avoid like the whole physical transmission or, touching of stuff. But ever since it's kind of just become a norm that, you can say it's available on request. And then should the authority want a sample, they will then request it. But very similar to a lot of other countries, that's where it ends. Then you go to module 2, which is the CTD summaries. And then it's standard with the EMA and ICH guidelines. Module 3 are the chemical and pharmaceutical documentation, quality module. So you'll have all the drug info, manufacturer info, formulations, and all of that. Container closures. Module 4 will have your non-clinical study reports. And module 5, your clinical study reports. So, pretty standard, right? What's interesting to see is that the module 1 for Ghana ends pretty closely. You don't have a strong section or node for any GMP documents, meaning, well, they do request you to send the originating country and distribution and any proof or registration certificates, but is not as accentuated as the South African one. You also don't see any specific pharmacovigilance requirements here. We have seen that there was where was it? A describing equation, local representative 1216, which can then depict that aspect, but not so explicitly. We also don't have specific requirements for the local manufacturer's responsible person, their CV, their company, their council registration, their licenses and certification, which I guess it's implied, but those nodes would have broken down further into 3 granulation and granularity levels. But overall, I'm pretty pleased. They do require at least the bare minimum. And then from the other modules, you will have all the rest of the product information. So that's that for me. I hope this was insightful and interesting somewhat. Comment below and let me know what you think. Again, if you appreciate this video, do put a thumbs up. It helps the channel to grow tremendously. And share it to somebody if you work in pharma, if you work at the national FDA in Ghana, the authority, if you work in a manufacturing company, if you do import and exports, if you are a marketing authorization holder, then comment below and let me know if you'd like to see more of this kind of video. Because here at Pharmers Academy, we are all about empowering professionals in pharma in the entire continent for a robust future of the continent and of the pharmaceutical industries. So yeah, thanks for watching and make sure to subscribe if you're not yet. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.